disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet.
Rowdy, we get rowdy, rowdy. Rowdy, we get rowdy, rowdy.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dueling Aces for September 16, 2025. It's kind of our thing when we throw that date out there. You know, just in case it gets deleted off from someplace and found someplace else. You know.
I catch myself doing it on my show now.
Oh, is it?
I literally caught myself giving the date of the show yesterday. I was like, when did I start doing this?
Would you look at that? Force of habit. Somebody else's habit, no less. Moi.
Somebody almost got booted off his own show yesterday for a WWE type promo, but we'll save that for another day.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought that the rabbit joke was pretty good, though. I mean, it literally brought your show to a screeching halt. You and Tyler were both going, nothing. You got nothing. You just had to sit there and go, are you really? It was great. For like 4 seconds, you were both speechless. You had nothing. I thought it was very well placed.
Oh, it was well placed. It was better placed than any offensive lineman the Bengals have had in the past 5 years.
Yay! Oh, dude. This is just another reason why the NFL quarterbacks have to play preseason football. You have to. You can't just sit there and just expect to just jump into weeks 1, 2. We said it's going to take you 3 to 4 weeks to get you up to speed. Well, now you're trying to get up to speed and you get hurt. Why? Because you never even sniffed preseason football.
I don't even know if it goes to the point of that it's about the preseason. I think it's just about that the Bengals have continued since Joe Burrow's been drafted there. They have not addressed that offensive line one bit. The only thing they tried to do by addressing it was giving Orlando Brown a huge contract. And guess what? If he couldn't block for the Chiefs, what the heck made you thought he was going to be able to block for you?
Right.
Now, that proves to you what organization is in the right direction. I know the Chiefs are 0-2. They're not going to stay. They're not going winless. They're going to still be in the playoffs. They're going to be a good team still. They're banged up right now. One team saw the glaring need at left tackle and went, in my opinion, drafted, even coming off that knee injury, the best offensive lineman in this draft, which is what I always said Josh Simmons was. My top two offensive linemen in this draft, Donovan Jackson, Josh Simmons, both have been outstanding so far for their respective teams. And then the other team took an edge rusher who had a career-high 2.5 sacks in his last year at A&M. Okay. I understand your defense is bad, but you mask a bad defense, you outscore teams. You outscore teams with Joe Burrow. You know how you don't outscore teams? With Brandon Browning.
With Kingsford, you can bring some serious flavor to the tailgate.
Bengals ain't bringing any flavor.
Right.
There's no flavor. Jamar Chase, fantasy owners, I'm sorry. But hey, We got to keep the big three together. We paid them all their money.
Yeah.
You did not need to pay T. Higgins.
No, you didn't.
You did not have to give him all that money.
And especially because, just like my brother, you don't need to keep, you only need to keep the better wide receiver. You don't need to keep both of them.
Yeah. You don't have to. And now they have all that money tied up in those three. They have no money to pay Hendrickson long term. Their defense is still pretty bad. And their offensive line has gotten worse and worse ever since Burrow entered the league. He got away with it the first year when they went to that Super Bowl, which I think was his, second or third year in the league. He got away with it then, and they're not going to get away with it anymore. That offensive line is bad, and it's the reason he got hurt, because the pocket collapsed literally in 2.2 seconds, and there was nothing they could do about it. So they might as well start making phone calls. Maybe Kirk. I mean, I would just love to see the Kirk Cousins trade to the Bengals tweet. That would set my whole week off.
Funny you should mention that.
Uh-oh.
Guess who else thought that that's a great idea? Zolt's mentioning about being late.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I know those nights. Those are
the best nights
fun
ever.
times. Fun times. Nope, it's funny you should mention that, because somebody else thought the same thing. Where the hell is he? Really? Seriously, where the hell is he? Oh, man. Don't even tell me it didn't save. I always catch it. Oh, man. Oh, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's okay. We still have the Indeed ads out for a new producer. We're working on it. Zolt's not going to be late because of that. He's going to be late because he's looking through the Indeed section.
Well, you never know. Oh, wait a minute. It is. When did he do that? Interesting. He has now apparently divvied up. Huh. Interesting. Benchwarmer Brandon. He's got another page now. Why, I don't know. I know he was doing something for fundraising, and he always does his weekly, well, usually has his weekly nope, that's not what I want to show you. Screen. No, come on. Screen. Share screen. Thank you. His usual takes on.
Accidentally slip into a different universe. Yeah, I'll be honest, it is way too early for all of us to be starting.
I love football.
Shut up, Mac. Yeah, I figured I might be starting by like week 10 once the Jets realize Justin's not very good at football. But week 3? All of us are starting. The Chiefs are 0-2, and Daniel Jones is playing like an MVP game. Yeah, we might be in a different universe. I'm scared. Don't worry, guys. I just remembered something that definitely confirmed we're in the same universe. What is it? The Bears still suck. Oh, yeah. They sure do. Always count on the Bears. Did we accidentally slip into a different...
I mean, damn. That one was brutal. I am trying to actually get him on the show, because I definitely want to interview this guy. I'd say I definitely would like to get Annie too, and also the Demon guy. The Demon guy is just as funny, and him and Brandon they've collaborated on a couple of these, and they are
We see,
hilarious.
speaking of hilarious, did we see Annie's week 2 video?
Yes, I have.
Oh my God.
Oh, she just burns it in the end of.
The last
She,
quarterback that didn't use protection like this was Phillip Rivers.
I just sat there. I was like, wow. Yeah, she's slipping those one-liners in real well, really well.
She's the best. She's the best.
Oh, like I said, they're between her, Benchwarmer here, and Demon, the three of them definitely. And there is another guy, Matt, I believe, who does the college ones. He does them for college. Oh, yes. I know I have a couple of them saved. I
I
will
can
say,
hear the James Franklin jokes.
oh, I know I have a couple. I know I have a couple of mats where I have saved them. Here he is. Oh, here he is.
If you haven't heard yet, Lee Corso is retiring, which really sucks, especially for my generation, because Lee Corso is like Mr. College Football to us. We grew up at the same time College Game Day grew up. You know, it didn't used to be nearly as big as it is now. As a matter of fact, back in the early 2000s, Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit were still having to call Thursday night games on ESPN, talking like big matchups like Southern Miss at UAB. That was my senior year of high school. So me and my college football loving friends actually went down to Legion Field for the UAB game with pretty much the sole purpose of trying to meet Lee Corso. And we did manage to get up to the press level suite and steal some hot dogs out of the press room and stand outside the broadcast booth waiting for them to get out. CUSA football was just different. The game ends and out comes Herbstreit, kind of scared that all of us are just standing there, probably want to know where security's at, probably taking advantage of those free hot dogs. And then out comes Corso. And the first thing he does, sees all of us, smiles and yells, "Roll Tide," because we may be at a UAB game, but by God, it's still Alabama. And he takes the time to stand there and talk to all of us, sign our programs, ask us who our favorite college football team is, and just want to chat about college football. Herbstreit had to literally pull him away from us so they could catch their ride. It was awesome because that night we learned when the crowd and the cameras ain't there, Lee Corso still really loves college football that much. And he understands better than anybody else that at the end of the day, college football is just a game. And games are meant to be fun. So thank you, Coach, for this and everything. So if you haven't heard.
So that is Matt, and he does the ribbings on the college football. And I know I have got, man, the Facebook thing is just dogging it tonight. I know I saved a couple of mats because they are really good. He also does his own thing of the Southerners stuff as well. Actually, you know what? Let me slide back up to Matt's. I bet you I could just go right to Matt's profile and pick them up. Yeah, there we go. Man, my thing seems to be dragging a little bit tonight. Come on. Come on. See, it's taking its sweet old time. Yeah. Where is... Oh, here we go. The SEC.
You thought your performance would, at the very least, take a small step back, but here you are, somehow better. That is correct. Anything you want to add to the comment section? Yeah, if you would, just write down there at the bottom. Roll Tide! So this is what we call a corrective action plan. So this does not happen again. How much Q freeze buyout. Please stop. What do you want to mail? That's not too bad. Yeah, we can probably swing that. Yeah. Where is Art Riles? I really thought your performance would, at the very least, take a small step back, but
He's got a couple better ones. Where is... I mean, he has one where he flips and has like every single shirt out of the SEC. And he just goes on a massive rant with all of them. Come on. But I mean, he has a lot of different things. And especially when it comes to the Southerners thing, a lot of his stuff is just hilarious. Where is that football one? It was a really, really good one, too. And of course, it is not going to be on his page now. Seriously?
asked me to come say a few words about the dearly departed. Oh, good riddance.
There you go, Sam.
Arizona schools or that Utah? No, I'm still alive. Now, I know there's been some questions about this athletic conference's death and who might be responsible, but I think that we can all agree that the SEC started this. And I don't think it's fair that we call the Pac-12 an athletic conference. I am so close to getting that TV deal.
Look at that Pac-4.
Stanford versus Cal on Pluto TV. I think I can find some room for those two if they want to, how you going to put Stanford and Cal at the Atlantic Coast Conference? Well, remind me what the 10 in Big Ten stands for. That's how many years since they won a national championship. It's only been 9.5. You trying to fill some voids too? No, I haven't lost anybody yet. See, this man is destroying college football as we know it. Oh, please. I think we're all a little guilty here. Are we, though? Big update. You can watch Oregon
Did you
State,
see the Mac?
Washington State.
See the Mac logo pop up real quick?
Any red box 2 days after the game. Couldn't even get it on Blu-ray. Close the coffin. Bury him next to the Big East. They asked me to come say a few words about the dearly departed. Good riddance. You might want those Arizona schools?
Said bury him next to the Big East. I am bummed. The one that he literally reviews every single team in the SEC is like the best one, and he is funny. He is very good when he is on. He gets a good roll one going. It's excellent. He has a lot of good ones. I'm bummed I can't find it. I'm bummed I can't find it. Oh, excuse me. Reviewing this past week's games, I know you and Tyler hit on them. Last night there was a late game. The late Monday nighter. Snooze fest galore.
Ban the doubleheader.
I mean, it kind of sucks when the 7 o'clock game is better than the 10 o'clock game.
Baker Bloody Mayfield.
I had him on my team, and guess what? I went back to look this morning, and I'll be darned, I got my first win in the MI Aces League because of it. And I was playing against 3 Chargers, and I still ended up winning.
Yeah, let's not talk about fantasy football, okay, shall we?
Yeah, for the show, I'm 2-0, which is scary.
That's nice. I'm 0-2.
I'm 0-2 in the Ohio League. I'm 1-1 in the MI Aces.
I'm 1-1 in my other league, but
I'm 1-1 in Zolt's. Anthony.
Here is the craziest. No, he will not.
No. Gino.
Yes, he does.
Hey, look. Listen. Gotta put some more bodies on that Raiders offensive line, dude. Jesus.
I just want to know how. I just want to know what in the definition was a few years ago the comeback player of the year. I know you could come back just because you sucked your whole career. Oh, that's got to be a rough one.
Ooh, yeah. See, this is why I didn't draft Joe Burrow. Somebody's made of glass. And I was like, yeah, not going to happen. Even if I was stuck with Chase. It's like, yep,
Hey, thanks, George. Thanks for just throwing me right under the bus there.
no problem. I mean,
Well,
it's ugly. But you know what's worse? Brian Thomas Jr.
oh my God.
Somebody, I kid you not, I'm sitting here in the studio doing stuff for work, getting my Monday morning prepped for 2 hours. I got the Sirius on. I'm listening to the Jacksonville broadcast specifically. 6 passes. I hear it hit Brian Thomas Jr. right in the hands, and he just flat out dropped it. 2 of them in the end zone. Jacksonville should have won that game hands down by
not remind me.
3 touchdowns. At least 3 touchdowns. And then the commentators were trying to give an excuse. Oh, that was a fastball. I'm sorry. Have you seen a jug machine, dude? Jug machines chuck them like fastballs. Hello? No, catch the ball. That's what you get paid to do, dude. Catch the damn ball. And
We've had
Trevor Lawrence, his last 15 passes, 12 of the 15 were dropped.
in the first 2 weeks of the college football season, Penn State had 2 interceptions. One of them by Zane Durant, the other one by Alonzo Ford. They're defensive tackles.
It's sick.
So someone needs to go show them the film of that saying, see, if a 300-pounder can do this, so can you.
But and all I can say about this game is everybody who wants to get on Trevor Lawrence, it's like, dude, I'm sorry. We need to get glue for anybody catching the damn ball. There is nothing wrong with Trevor Lawrence.
No.
There's everything wrong with the people who are trying to catch a football on the team.
There's everything wrong with calling a pass interference penalty. That's not really pass interference.
Ooh, yeah.
Listen.
Gotta bring that up. Yes.
Listen, let me explain this. Okay.
Go for it. Go ahead.
Defenders that literally tackle you to enable you from catching the football, pass interference. Grabbing on the jersey, not having your hand on the guy's body, not like just there, grabbing the jersey. That's a penalty. When the guy turns around, is just using his right hand to base himself on his receiver, turns around, locates the football, and literally the ball's already underthrown, and he knocks it away, that's not a penalty.
Nope.
You cannot penalize a guy for making a play on the football.
Nope, not at all.
They say that we won't call it as long as the defender gets his head turned around to the ball. Well, you're lying to yourself because you've been doing it ever since you tried out replay on pass interference, and ever since then you've called it more now than you did ever.
It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
Travis Hunter played that so well.
That was Travis Hunter's hello, welcome to the NFL highlight play. And the ref just trashed it. Went, no, I don't think so.
How else would you want him to play that freaking play? It was perfect. Good coverage, good extension.
Ugh.
Oh, don't get me started on the freaking. What's the rule again?
What's that?
What's the rule with the kick that you can't like the leverage one?
Leverage.
You can't touch the center. Are you kidding me?
Correct. And I watched through the replay. And Denver was just ugly. I'm sure Sean Payton, I said if I was Sean Payton, that dude would not have even gotten back on the plane. That dude would have been taking a bus, a rental car, all the way back to Denver. because I would not have let that dude on the plane at all. That dude, it wasn't just like accidental coming in off the side. No, dude, he was over the center. I'm sitting here going, oh, that is total BS. I was like, dude, you cannot. I don't care. You're trying to, you have no shot in hell of getting up there to block the damn thing. And then all you did was screw it up. Your team literally had the game won because of it, because it was way too far out. It was pathetic. Kevin says he fell asleep. It was boring. 29-28 was boring? Really?
Daniel Jones being 2-0 is boring?
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, since you went there, yep, I'm bringing it up right now. The 2-0 teams and the 0-2 teams, who are the frauds? Are they legit or frauds? So
Let's do it.
We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills.
Now, wait. Now, hold on. Before we start, I just want to know, when we are talking legit, are we just basically saying at least at minimum a playoff team?
Are we talking not a playoff team? We are talking a legitimate, yes, you have the offense. Yes, you have the defense. Yes, you belong there. Those are the ground rules.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills, 2-0.
They're legit.
Cincinnati Bengals, 2-0.
Well, they're going to be fraud. They were frauds even with Burrow, so they're fraudulent now. Because they'll be about 2-8 by the time he gets back.
The Colts.
And this is why I asked that question, because I think they have a very good roster. They've got great players on the defensive side of the ball at every level. They've got a good secondary. They've got good linebackers that tackle. They've got a good defensive line. The biggest question all year, and they have the offense. They've got the offensive line, even after losing 2 starters last year. 2 guys have come in right now and stepped right up. Best offensive line Daniel Jones has had his whole career. They still have Jonathan Taylor. They still have Pierce. They still have Pittman. They still have Downs. Oh, by the way, do you remember when we said Tyler Warren being picked after Colston Loveland was a mistake? How you doing? I warned you about that since the draft.
Okay. The Chargers.
They're legit, man. Justin Herbert looks like he's got a chip on his shoulder, and that defense is playing out of its mind. And the Chargers aren't even running the football as much as they did last year. Now, it makes me wonder if some of that is because they run so much to the left side, maybe without Slater there. They can't really mix it up as much as they'd like to. But if that run game gets going with Hampton, I'm going legit. I think the Chargers are going to win the AFC West this year.
Okay. The Eagles.
I think they're legit. They have still one of the top 3 defenses in football. They just went to Arrowhead, even unhealthy. Because let me just break this news for people. Xavier Worthy played in the Super Bowl last time I checked. And the whole Rashee Rice thing. First of all, the Chiefs wearing the free Rashee Rice shirts, grow up. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 0-2. So, but they still have one of the top 3 defenses in football. They still have one of the best rushing attacks. Yes, the passing offense doesn't look good 2 weeks in. George, you did how many of those post-game shows? I'm pretty sure these were the same things we heard about 6 weeks in the last season with Kellen Moore, right?
Yep.
Okay, then. So I'm not worried about the passing offense. A.J. Brown missed a huge amount of the summer with a hamstring injury. Do you know how long it takes to feel 100% from a hamstring strain?
6 months.
Exactly.
Yep.
Dallas Goedert, who is not just vital in the passing offense, he is vital in the pass protection. So not having him out there to at least help with blocking assignments is rough. He'll hopefully be back for the Rams game. I don't know. We won't see that till the Eagles hit the practice field this week. They said the knee sprain wasn't long term, but I think and the Eagles defense is just they're getting Zadarius Smith was signed off the streets last week. He's already got a half a sack.
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me. The Packers.
Jesus, legit. I think the Packers are good. There's not a weakness on that team right now.
Tampa Bay. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not going to lie. I would say frauds.
And it's not because I think they are. It's just they're the most complete team in one of the worst divisions in the league. But am I going to pick them because here's the problem. They're going to be at best probably the 4 seed because they're. Do I think they're going to go into a Green Bay or a Philly in the winter and win? No.
Dude, they barely won against Atlanta, and they snuck through last night.
Yes, and I don't want to take that away from them.
I think that's going to come back to bite them in the butt. I really do. Because right now, they should be 0-2. Big time. So I'm going to say Tampa Bay is fraud.
Yeah, I am too, but it's not because I think they are. I just don't think they're better or have enough. They don't have the roster that some of these other teams do.
Right.
Like, do they have a talent roster as talented as Philly and Green Bay and Detroit? No.
Now the strange 3-headed monster. The 49ers, the Cards, and the Rams. And the scary part is the Seahawks almost did it. They almost could have. But
right.
You got the weird 3-headed monster of the 49ers, the Cards, and the Rams.
All right, let's see where let's see where we can go here. We'll start with the Cardinals. I think they're frauds. They've played the Saints and the Panthers.
Right, exactly.
They barely won either game.
Right, and that's the NFC South for you. Let's see what they do against Tampa Bay.
They won by 5 to Carolina after Bryce Young turned the football over like 3 times, and then we won by 5. Right. That and Jonathan Gannon's a terrible coach, and I hope I can't stand him still. Frauds.
Okay.
The Niners.
Go ahead. I'll say they have been lucky.
I will literally strictly say frauds only because they are so banged up. If they are healthy, they still have a good chance. They do not have a strong strength of schedule. They have one of the weaker schedules in the league this year because of last year. So I think they could be good. I'm going frauds right now because Kittle out, Ayuk out, Purdy out. I know Ayuk but Ayuk is still a pretty damn good weapon to have. McCaffrey, will he hold up? Right now the highlight is Robert Saleh's defense. Well, we knew that was going to be the case.
And that's ironically, everybody's like, you're taking the 49ers defense? I'm like, yes, I know who's back. I'm not stupid. Hello. I'm not stupid. And he's been sorely missed. He was
still have Bosa, still have Warner, still have Lenore, drafted Alfred Collins and CJ West to bulk up the interior on the defensive line, got Michael Williams, who played a pretty good game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Upton Stout, another kid they drafted, looks really good. It's just that I like their defense. It's the injuries that just it seems to pile up so fast. Kittle couldn't even get to the first 2 quarters.
I'm gonna call it like I see it right now. It's like the Trent Dilfer Baltimore Ravens getting to the Super Bowl right now. The offense couldn't do squat. The kicker and the defense did it all. That's the best way to pretty much explain it. Then you get the LA Rams.
I'm
Jekyll and
still
Hyde.
sticking that they're legit because I understand that their offense, it kind of took till the second half of that Titans game to start clicking. Matthew Stafford did not take the hell with the preseason. He barely took a snap in practice all summer because of his back. So you know it's going to take some time to get that chemistry going with a Devontae Adams. They do, Anthony, because look, hold on. Outside of Philly, the Rams may have the scariest group of weapons in the NFC. You got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and please, people, stop sleeping on Kyron Williams. I know the first couple weeks have been off. Do not sleep on this man. They have one of the scarier. I am terrified this week. I had to watch Adoree Jackson cover one of these two. I don't know which one. I'm scared of either. And that Rams defensive front, Jared Verse, Young, Kobe Turner, Josiah Stewart, the rookie. But I mean, they just got edge rushers on top of edge rushers, and they will come after you and get it. Now, they do have a lot of good pass rushers. Their run defense has still got me skeptical, and their secondary is kind of weak. But if you can get after the quarterback and put up enough points, which with that offense and Sean McVay, who, by the way, did you hear what he did on Sunday? He tore his plantar fascia in his foot on Sunday. So for anybody that always used to wonder early on why Sean McVay had a guy that would pull him away from the sideline, that's why, because he hurts himself.
Right.
But I'm
right.
going legit with the Rams.
So put money on Adams to score this weekend.
100%.
Kevin, that actually happened a few times last night when I was watching Sam's show. It would keep freezing, and I'd have to exit out on Facebook and come back in. Exit out and come back in. I had to do that quite a bit last night for your show. It was kind of
Facebook.
Facebook's got something going on. All right, now I'm going to do the reverse. Now I'm going to do the reverse to you. Really sucks, or they will bounce back. So let's start off with the New York Jets. Really sucks or will bounce back? Yes, I said it with a straight face.
Can I just say are what they are? They're the Jets.
Okay. I mean, we know Tyrod Taylor's starting this week. So next up, Miami Dolphins.
Sucks, and more sucks.
Cleveland Browns.
Unfortunately, I have to say sucks because it's been bad. The defense looks bad. The offense looks bad. Everything looks bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but when they had Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, and they were looking for those couple years, they were starting to turn the corner. They won a playoff game, and then Baker got hurt, and the Browns blamed everything on him. So I have to say, really, they don't really suck, but they suck. Honestly, though, I don't think they're worse than the Dolphins. The Dolphins just flat out suck, and Mike McDaniel's going to be looking for offensive coordinator jobs in a few months.
No, Cleveland Browns.
They suck. They don't really suck, but they suck.
Well, grumblings already, shocker from Cleveland. The new kids are going to be wanting to be put in. Dylan and Shador are going to be looking to get put in because Flacco sucks. Everybody's
might as
saying
well.
it sucks. Okay. Houston Texans. Yes, this surprised me too. I went, wait a minute, what?
I'm going to say suck because their defense will keep them in games. Like last night, they will be in games. You don't trade Laramie Tunsil and make your offensive line better. And I don't know what pixie dust Bobby Slowick had in CJ Stroud's rookie year, but It ain't there no more because that offense, they were like 3 for 13 yesterday on third down. And that's where you got to win football games, man. You got to win on third down.
Tennessee Titans.
I think they'll have a bounce back. I don't think they're going to be like a playoff team, but I still think they have a chance to have like an 8-9 9-8 type record. I still think they have a lot of talent on that team. That touchdown Cam Ward threw on Sunday was pretty. And not many quarterbacks can make that throw. I don't care who you are. I've never seen, I don't even think I've seen Mahomes make that kind of throw. That's a special type of throw.
Kevin's saying they won't suck. I'm kind of in the agreement a little. I think Houston will get that 500. I think. Kansas City Chiefs.
They don't suck. Get the frick. I'm not a team coached by Andy Reid and has Patrick Mahomes doesn't suck. It's just a really rough start to the season. Worthy should be back, if not this week, then week after, hopefully. Rashee Rice will be back eventually. Tyquan Thornton's actually, he's made some plays down the field for them so far. And the less Hollywood Brown, the better, because I still don't think Hollywood Brown's that good of a player. The O-line is still weak in areas. We already know, and I hate Ohio State.
We talked about this.
I hate Ohio State. You know this. I love Josh Simmons. I love the kid. Kid can block his behind off. Hey, do you see the pick in the end zone? He's the only reason that ball wasn't a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's running a 4.7 out there trying to catch a safety. But O-line's gotten better with the addition of Simmons, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey. They'll be fine, but man, do they got to find a replacement for Jawan Taylor in the offseason. That brother cannot block to save his life. I heard they want to put I've heard when it comes to Jawan Taylor, they're going to start putting a belt around him, and the officials are just going to tie their flags to him, and he can just drop one on himself. That's how many penalties he's called for in a game.
The New York Giants. Yeah, the Cowboys look like crap, and let Russell go for 400.
I'm going to say they don't suck. I think they could still turn this thing around. Now, unfortunately, they got to play the Chiefs this Sunday, and the Chiefs are not losing. I hate to break it to them, but the Chiefs ain't losing. If the Chiefs lose,
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued tomorrow night with talking about balls to see what the point spread is and everything tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm in it because you know what? The one thing I know, the Giants defense allowed a lot of points to Dallas, which, by the way, who was coaching their defense in the final few seconds? Do they know who the Dallas field goal? Do you know who the kicker for the Cowboys is?
Yeah, duh.
That kick would have been good from 80.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did like what I saw from the Giants over the weekend, they can get after the quarterback. Carter, they're going back to the old Tom Coughlin, Steve Spagnuolo days when Spags was on the Giants and they had Justin Tuck, Kiwanuka, Ewan Mora, JPP, and they are literally putting 3 defensive ends and Dexter Lawrence. They got Lawrence and Thibodeau at D tackle on some downs, and they have Carter and Burns on the edge. So that pass rush they're going to get to the quarterback. And hopefully that Bobby Okereke can still play a really solid inside linebacker. Secondary, corners on the outside, a little iffy. But it's ultimately going to come down to Russell Wilson and how well he can play. Because if we get week 2 Russell, or even half of that, they'll be in good shape. If we get week 1, we're calling for Jackson Dart by week 7. Also, they will be a lot better once Andrew Thomas gets healthy. Because I don't know who 55 is, but that man had more penalties on Sunday by himself than the rest of the league did. I mean, Fox was laughing at it. Fox was laughing at him.
The Chicago Bears.
Sucks because their quarterback stinks.
I don't think it's the quarterback.
I think it is. I think it's 100% the quarterback.
Okay. But yes, I will say sucks because the offensive line sucks.
That too.
Well, I really don't think we really need to go into too much. And I said I feel so bad for Kellen Moore. But the Saints and the Panthers.
Sucks by default. Even though I will say Ted McMillan looks pretty good for the Panthers. 6 catches, 100 yards on Sunday. He looked good. Spencer Rattler hasn't played too terrible either.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Whoa. Whoa.
Where the hell is
Whoa.
Zolt needed?
Whoa. Whoa. Zolt, I know you're seeing that one. Kevin says the Bears suck because Ben Johnson sucks. Yeesh. The NFC West does not have an 0-2. They've got Seattle, who are 1-1. I would pretty much about say I don't think that Seattle is sucking. I think they're pretty much right where they should be. Knowing that the 49ers whooped them in week 1, and then boy, did they take it out on Pittsburgh in week 2. Because we usually know that any team coming from the West traveling into the East, it does not usually go well for them. And ironically, I actually saw Pittsburgh's, scoreboard and saw they were winning. And then all of a sudden, the afternoon came and I saw that they had gotten their butts waxed. I was like, wow, that Pittsburgh defense blows. Yikes. That is brutal. Yeah, and that's the truth, Anthony. Some coaches are just better as coordinators and not head coaches.
It's also hard to fix the cursed franchise that is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, for the moment, yep, you're darn right.
Did you see Ben Johnson after that game on Sunday? He said hi to Dan Campbell. He bolted after that.
Yeah, and he just figured it out that I turned around and I picked the Bears to actually walk into Detroit and win. That sucked. Then I had Jacksonville to beat Cincinnati, and that was happening until that sucked. I was doing pretty good with some picks last week, and they didn't come around.
I got something for you.
Shoot.
So we all know that last Thursday, the Eagles and Cowboys did about 25 million viewers, which I think they said was like the highest watched opening night game in like either in years or like ever. Eagles Chiefs did 33.8 million viewers on Sunday. Listen to this. Fox's best ever regular season Sunday telecast, the most watched NFL Week 2 telecast on record, the most watched September/October game ever. So people like to talk about the tush push, but you'll still watch us.
Well, this week it's going to be there's too many prison inmate games this week.
Excuse me? What did you just say?
Yeah, let's see. Miami at Buffalo, snoozer. There's your first Thursday night snoozer. Green Bay
and like 37-34.
No, not a chance.
I know.
Then you get Green Bay coming into Cleveland. Would love to see the upside on that one, but not going to happen.
I've seen crazy.
Everybody, Indy gets to go to Tennessee. That's going to be a butt whooping. Cincinnati at Minnesota. There's your prison inmate game right there. That's one that nobody gives a damn. Oh, Jesus Christ. No. I know. Yes, Carson Wentz will beat up on the Bengals, and Minnesota boat races Cincinnati. Yes.
Hey, just think after all the 2020 draft, he probably gets to play with Justin Jefferson. And
then we get Pittsburgh going into New England, and when their defense sucks that bad, Drake May, I think, has a wonderful, wonderful game. Then you get the Rams going into Philly. There's your slobber knocker.
Oh, it's going to be a go.
There's the first good game of the day. Then we got the Jets going to Tampa Bay. Please, another snoozer. Vegas goes all the way to Washington. I think that particular game is going to rely on one Mr. Daniels sucking it up and pulling his crap together and starts playing like a quarterback. I do know that Debo Samuel is benefiting like nobody's business because Bryce just came in here and said he just cut Terry McLaurin off of his fantasy squad. I was like, well, that's your funeral, bud. You got to be patient. But Washington, Vegas, yeah, okay. Then you got Atlanta going to Carolina. Atlanta should boat race them. Houston at Jacksonville. This will be your slobber knocker number 2 because they always put on a show. No defense, all offense, as long as Jacksonville can catch a football. Denver at the Chargers. Slobber knocker number 3. Should be.
What time's that game?
That is the 4:05 on CBS.
Man.
That's the 4:05 for us on CBS because the other 4:05, the Saints are at Seattle. Sorry, Saints. That's ouch. Yikes. Is all Seattle's a 7.5 point favorite, Sam. 7.5. Yeah. Yikes.
But I will say, I did pick the Eagles on my show last night. I'm not confident, but the Rams were the closest thing that came to us not winning a Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Even though the Eagles' offensive line is still the best in the league, that Rams front gave us a problem last year.
What's up, Scott? So yeah, the other 7.5 game, by the way, is Green Bay favored over Cleveland in Cleveland by 7.5. Yeah, those are the two top ones for Sunday. By the way, the Buffalo favored by 12.5. 12.5. Then you have Dallas at Chicago. Here's a frightening stat line. Are you ready for this? Now we're thinking, Jesus, Dallas should just walk in and blow them off the doors. The point spread is 1.5, Sam. 1.5. Chicago is favored.
That's home team.
Chicago. Are you listening to this? Chicago is favored against the Cowboys. 1.5. Who in the Jerry Jones hell is betting on the Bears? Who? I couldn't say that with a straight face. I'm sorry. I
can't comment.
If you were drinking, that would have been a spit take. For sure.
Oh,
God. For sure. Arizona and San Francisco are 1.5. The Sunday nighter, somebody's got to win. Maybe they could tie. Sunday nights are famous for ties with Kansas City at New York. It's not in KC. It's in New York. And then, unfortunately, we've got the Monday nighter. Baltimore favored by 4.5 at home against Detroit. Which Detroit team shows up?
That game is interesting.
Week 1 Detroit Lions or week 2 Detroit Lions? I mean, Jesus. I thought for a minute the Lions were going to drop 70 on them. I mean, they were rolling.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But we got a lot of inmate games this week. Way too many.
Oh, absolutely.
Way too many. It just totally blows. Real quick, need to make note and reference. Rest in peace, Mr. Robert Redford. Heard about his passing this morning, and Kelly actually told me about it. I was still working on my nightmare this morning, and I was just like, damn. damn good actor. It's like I keep forgetting that, the good ones, they're now up there, and it's like, man, that kind of sucks at the moment.
It does.
So, it really does. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, that
Tough time in the world right now.
yeah, for sure. For sure. I got a message a little while ago. The Cleveland baseball team went up to Detroit, and apparently airplane got a little too close to their house. I was notified that the plane was a little too low, and basically, can they get off of their damn lawn? Make sure that the plane goes other direction. I was like, damn.
Oh my God.
Okay. So apparently Cleveland must be playing Detroit. Apparently.
Well, they're leading them 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th right now.
Isn't that interesting?
AL wild card hunt looks interesting.
I still don't think it matters because Justin's sitting there last week talking about, hey, is Cleveland back from the dead? I'm like, hey, don't get your damn hopes up like that.
Hey, listen real quick.
In the ass. Knock it off.
Listen real quick. You traded Josh Naylor for a sack of potatoes to the Diamondbacks. You re-signed Carlos Santana, then waived him halfway through the season. Easily one of the 5 best closers in baseball got suspended mid-season, along with one of your starting pitchers that you traded for in the offseason. The fact that they are even in wild card contention after what I understand when you're in the ALCS the year before and you're not there again. I understand that. But for giving the circumstances on everything that has happened, there's got to be a little bit of optimism there, right?
No.
All right.
No.
By the way, I was told by hundreds of people over on my side, I was told after somebody signed in New York, the NL East was going to be in Queens for the next 13 years. What happened? You swept the Phillies at Citi Field. You were 4 games out, all the momentum, and you lost the division within the next week and a half.
That's the way of the match.
Yes, I'm pissed off they clinched it in LA when I was asleep. Usually the middle of the night bathroom break, I'm half asleep. I check that cell phone. First thing, MLB.com. The Phillies are NL East champs. Thank God I live alone now. I screamed to the top of my lungs.
And that's funny because them and Milwaukee are the only 2 who claimed anything so far.
Yeah. I think they said this is the earliest the Phillies have ever clinched the NL East.
And it's funny to sit there and look, and you see the Z for the Milwaukee Brewers, and you see the E for eliminated on the Pittsburgh Pirates at the bottom of it.
Oh, I thought they were just eliminated from actually paying Paul Skeens. That's what. I thought the P in Pittsburgh. I thought the P in Pittsburgh meant pissing away the playoffs. I'm sorry. I don't have anything nice to say about organizations that don't try. I have nothing. That's not even. I wasn't even trying to make a joke at Bruiser. That's not even toward him. I have issues with organizations that don't try.
Wow.
That's funny. It wasn't at him, though.
That is
Wait a minute.
Like,
Why are you both grinning when I showed up?
That is wow. Talk about your timing, and all of a sudden, ta-da!
it was
All
There's
I've heard
Bruiser.
is Sam say
I was-
I endured him, and that's the best way I can describe anybody's friendship with me.
No, I was talking something about the Pirates, and it was toward the lines of I just can't defend teams that don't try.
Oh, well, listen. We've known that the Pirates haven't tried for a very, very long time.
No, I know. I just want. It wasn't just towards them. It's just like it's them. It's the Nationals since 2019.
The problem with the baseball model is that you have all of these contracts that are so out of whack that and it's now really a regional sport. Look, there's no nationally televised game that everybody's looking forward to. You know, I remember when Sunday Night Baseball was the big ticket. You know, that was that game drew ratings, you know. And it was always like the preeminent teams. And they would move that game around. Hey, if the Indians were hot, or the Guardians, whatever you want to call them, if they were hot, guess what? We're going to go to Cleveland, and we're going to go to the Jake on a Sunday night. We're going to see the we're going to see the Guardians and the Yankees play, or we're going to Arizona when the Diamondbacks got hot. We're going to go to the Mariners. You know what I mean? That was a game that you wanted to see, you had to see, and unfortunately, that it's just not that way anymore. Baseball, with so many regional sports networks popping up and then dying, and then popping up and then dying, and then Bally's bought them out, and it was a Bally's national network, and then Bally's died, and Bally's got bought out, and then it broke up again. It's so unfortunate that a lot of those baseball teams got swept up in that. I mean, you look at the media rights deal that WWE just got from ESPN, right? Like $5 billion or whatever it was, something astronomically insane.
Yep.
It's essentially ESPN is paying WWE $325 million per pay-per-view or live event for the length of the contract. It's an astronomical amount of money. You're not getting rights fees deals like that for baseball, especially for teams that could really use it, like the Pirates, the Reds. I don't care that Washington is in a major metropolitan area for baseball. That's a small market team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. If you've noticed it, almost every Nationals player that they don't buy many players. I think the biggest guy you could think of is Scherzer. Everybody else was homegrown. Harper, Soto, Rendon, Strasburg, Zimmerman.
I have that backwards because I thought the Phillies grew Harper, and then he went to the Nationals, then went back to the Phillies. I got it wrong. It's fine. Don't shake your head at me, George. I'm correcting my own mistake.
You're good.
George is just there now. The real personalities are here. We're good.
Zolt's not here yet. Bring him back. He doesn't
Zolt,
have
Zolt will not be participating this evening. He is stuck on some serious long kid duty tonight.
He said he'd be here later.
We won't be here later.
With baseball, the best thing that could happen to baseball is another players' strike. But in this case, it is a strike where they actually, a cap gets instituted. And I wouldn't be upset with some retraction in the league. We don't need 30 teams. Let's go down to 24.
Do like an NBA and do like NBA conference standings instead of just the division standings that we do. Best 8 or something get in.
I think you could almost look at it a relegation, almost like 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 soccer, like oh, what the hell, the Premier League over in England.
Okay.
So we're gonna take um, the bottom eight performing MLB teams and the top eight performing uh, AAA teams, and we're gonna swap them. We're just gonna relegate them because now minor league baseball is under the MLB umbrella.
Yeah.
But I share your disdain for underperforming teams, but it's such a nuanced problem because it's something that baseball has created for themselves. I want you to look at the other four major leagues: NFL, NBA, or the major three: NFL, NBA, and NHL. Right? What have all three of those leagues done in the last 10 years that the MLB has not?
Enlighten me.
They've all expanded.
True.
Now the NFL, I don't think has expanded since like 20. Was it when was it? When was the Texans, like 2015 or something like that?
Think so.
Okay, last 10 years. So yeah, but within the last 10 years, all of the major all three of the four major sports organizations have expanded, where MLB has not.
Yeah.
Because MLB is stagnant. It's not growing.
Yeah. I mean, and there's been so much talk over the past couple of years about an expansion. I don't know why they don't.
Apparently, Charlotte is on board for a team. They're supposed to get one. It's Charlotte, and then was it another West Coast team? I think it was Salt Lake.
I mean, you don't count Vegas as an expansion, right?
No, because it's just a team moving.
Okay.
It's just a team moving. What I mean is starting up a whole new franchise.
Oh, yeah. I think a team in Charlotte's going to hit instantly.
A team in Charlotte will do very well.
There ain't got nothing else going on in Carolina. The Panthers suck.
Well, so the Canes do pretty well. The Canes draw really well down there.
They do.
The Panthers, for being crappy, still draw well. Not too far down the road from Charlotte is they were the Kannapolis Intimidators. Now they're the Kannapolis Cannonballers, which is Dale Earnhardt's hometown. But they're a pretty successful, minor league team. So to think that baseball wouldn't do well in the Carolinas isn't, I think, is almost an idiotic statement, because I saw some people talking about it, and I was listening to a few people talking about it on MLB on Sirius, and they were crapping all over Charlotte getting a team. I think you need one. I don't know, other than a forced amount, required to spend. I think part of the answer, though, might lie in hitting the owners where it hurts. If your annual salary is less than $125 million, then you only get this much percentage of the revenue sharing. And if it's above this and you are competitive, I mean, I get competitive as subjective, but let's say, you're you could put a plus or minus margin on it. Let's say you're plus or minus 10 games above 500, above or under 500, and your payroll is 125 million, then you're going to get this percentage of the revenue sharing. And if you're if you contend for this and this, then you get this percentage. Make it incentive, make the revenue sharing incentive based, because if that's the case, then the teams that don't want to spend money are going to consistently not spend money, and then guess what? Those owners are going to go out of business and sell the teams.
Not a bad idea. That's definitely not a bad idea.
That's my thought.
I'm just like, because I mean, it is getting kind of ridiculous though with some teams. Like, I mean, I will give them that. Some teams cannot. You can't outspend the Dodgers. Not every team can outspend with that.
I think you need to institute a salary cap. If you're going to institute incentive-based revenue sharing, then you need to institute a salary cap along with it. Baseball will not fix itself until there is a salary cap in place, and a pretty sturdy one. None of this soft cap bullshit, an actual hard cap.
Yeah, because right now what you're seeing is the only way that these teams that are lower, like even like, let's just look at this one. Look at the Brewers even. They may be a good team, but they're not big spenders. They're not spending Dodger or Philly or Mets money. But unless there's some type of a salary cap implemented, like you said, you know what these teams are going to just do to try to beat free agency? They're going to literally call these guys up like the Brewers did with Jackson Chourio and give him an 8-year deal right off the rip, so they don't have to. They can avoid some of this.
I think 3 things are the incentive-based revenue sharing, salary cap, and a year cap on contracts. No more of this $600-700-400 million deal bullshit. No, because you're just kicking the can down the line. If you've got a cap, you've got to work against.
No more deferred money.
You can't defer the money. If you've got a cap,
Dodgers.
you've got to work against, and you've got years. Guess what happens? The talent pool then goes elsewhere. Now you can see a big bat in Pittsburgh or a couple of big arms in Washington or Milwaukee. Like the talent pool is going to go where not only the money is, but they're going to go where they can get the deal that they want. And if you put a year cap on the contracts, hard salary cap in, and incentive-based revenue sharing, I guarantee you that baseball will change drastically.
I agree. And like, I understand with like some of these contracts, like, you know, it really started back with Harper and Machado. They kind of started this whole thing with these big long-term deals. I kind of and here's the thing, right? Like, even I said it back in 2019, before many of these rule changes, like I said, do we really think Bryce Harper is going to be playing right field at age 38? Probably not. But then, of course, you know, we implemented the DH, and now it makes more sense. But I don't understand where these teams are getting, where they're offering starting pitchers that throw 98, 8-9-year deals. You think Garrett Cole's going to be a Cy Young candidate for another 7 years, and he's like 34?
Well, no, but that's what happens is that there's always an out clause. There's always a way to trade him. There's always a way to defer that money or never really have to pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at you said, you know, Machado is one, but I can remember back in the early 2000s when Ramirez and Verlander were getting those giant deals when Poppy got the giant deal. You know, like, oh,
Yeah.
who was it? Pitched for the Nationals.
For the Strasburg?
Strasburg. And I remember I want to say it was like 2008, 2009, and he got like a $325 million deal. And at the time, it was so astronomical that somebody got paid that much money to pitch.
Yeah. And honestly, this also could have all started back with Pujols with the Angels. He got a lucrative contract too.
But Pujols didn't move to the Angels until like 2014, 2015.
It was 2012.
No, because he was in.
He was insane. 2011 was the year the Cardinals made that Cinderella run to the World Series. He was a free agent that year.
Was it 2011 or 2012?
It was his last year in St. Louis was 2011. 2012 was when he started with the Angels.
Okay.
Because I remember they gave him and they gave C.J. Wilson a large contract too. The Angels were
they
spending money.
Yeah, I remember the Cardinals winning the World Series that year.
I don't want to be reminded of that, but because
I was rooting for the Cardinals because they were from the Midwest.
I don't blame you. I was rooting for the Rangers because I hated the Cardinals because they screwed my season up. But no, like you said, the league doesn't implement any type of cap things. They don't expand. And the amount of rule change, like here's the thing, right? They think the rule changes is what brings fans in. I've said this on here to George a countless amount of times. Good baseball is what attracts fans. Nobody cared about lack of pitch clocks 10 years ago because if their team was good.
I disagree. I think the pitch clock is a very good
I don't disagree with you.
To baseball.
I like it.
Come here. No.
They literally we went so right when the pitch clock era started, we went to a game and I loved it. I went to the Trenton Thunder, which is what used to be the Yankees AA affiliate where I live, but now they're an MLB draft league team. And when the draft league started, they didn't have the pitch clock. We went to the draft league game. I left. It took almost 2.5 hours. We were in the freaking fourth inning. I said, I'm out of here.
I've been to a couple pitch clock games. They've gone pretty quick. What's gonna bring fans back to the ballpark is more home runs, more offense. Think of how many ballparks were sold out during that Sammy says, "Oh, you were an infant then."
Pretty much.
Go back and look at some of those though. Like the ballparks were always full. Or when Bonds, I don't care what you think about Bonds. I don't. But 2006, 2007, 2008, when he was chasing down Hank Aaron for the any ballpark he went to was packed because you wanted to be there when he broke the record.
Yeah. It was must-see TV. And first of all, just for my opinions, I have no issue with Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens. The league, and can always say, same thing with McGuire and Sosa. The league can say what they did was wrong, but they had no issue making the money off of them during those times.
Here's my issue with that whole deal. Steroids in baseball weren't illegal until 2003.
Yeah.
And even then, there were still things that weren't ruled out, like growth hormone still wasn't off the table. That didn't come off the table I think like 2005, 2006. So you cannot hold anything that happened with Bonds, Clemens, McGuire, any of them, Sosa, against them from the 2000 season and before. 2003 season and before.
There's like I said, they can say all they want about what Bonds did was wrong. They had no issue packing they made all that revenue off of it, so they clearly didn't care too much.
Where'd George go?
But-
Did he run away?
I think he got tired. I think he got tired of us finally.
I mean, this is the most baseball talk that's been on this show in a very long time.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was George's bed.
It might have been George. Well, no, it's 9:00. It's well past George's bedtime.
Oh.
It's called for bedtime at the home right around 6:30.
Oh. They start passing out the chamomile tea and
We just love for the outro to hit while he's not even here. That'd be hilarious.
Listen, tapioca pudding comes out about 5:45, and the shawls come out about 6.
with the chamomile
Mm-hmm.
tea.
I mean, I could really make him go away and start talking about NASCAR.
He may make me go away then.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Let's talk. All right, since we basically have control of this, why don't we talk wrestling then?
I'll talk wrestling. I don't care.
What's been going on? When is WrestlePalooza? When is that? I have no idea when it is.
Saturday.
Oh, it's this Saturday?
Yep.
Oh, Penn State's on a bye week. I actually may watch it. Just waiting for our 2-week ass whooping to Oregon because it's going to happen.
I think you'll beat him.
I don't. We have not looked good for 2 weeks. Don't let that 52-6 score against Nova fool you. That was mostly our freshman backups in the fourth quarter. We have not. Drew Aller has not looked good for 2 weeks.
You want Arch Manning? I'll give you him.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what's going on over there.
I'll give you Arch Manning for some Laffy Taffy and a defensive lineman.
I got some defensive linemen. Do you need a pass rusher or a defensive tackle? I got both.
I don't know, man. I want to think that part of it is just them trying to put stuff together.
Could be if it's early.
Yeah. Part of me wants to believe that it's just them putting stuff together, right?
Yeah.
And then the other part of me is like, oh no, it's bad. It's really bad. But I don't know that it is. I don't know if it is, and I don't know if it is or if it's just Sark trying to get his offense squared away and the amount of seniors that they lost last year.
Yeah, I mean it could be. I mean they did lose a lot. And like that's like me with Penn State. I don't know, like, is it just like are they just taking these 3 weeks to try to are they not trying to show their hand on what their actual plans are for better teams? Or is this just the same old crap that I've been watching for the past 3 years and it's going to go beat the teams you should, lose the big games?
Listen, I don't think that Florida State should have jumped Texas.
Nah.
I don't think that looking at that top 25, I'm sorry. Florida State's not better than Texas.
These top 25s are they're all over the place.
You dropped Clemson completely out of the top 25.
Notre Dame almost got dropped out of it. They're only like 24.
I'm sorry, but like, look, I get it. I get it that we're heading into week 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't. There is something about this top 25 that is very, very erratic and very, very like. I would like to know what toddler play school that they went to for all the voting, or did they just pull a bunch of Midwestern wives to find out which mascot would beat the other one in a fight, and that's how they got the top 25. Like,
I mean,
an
here-
Indian is definitely beating a longhorn steer in a fight. That's why the Seminoles are ranked higher than the cows.
I mean, and I honestly, personally, I think Oregon should be higher than 6.
Oregon, to me, is the best team in the country right now.
I said the same thing last night. I think they're playing like the best team in the country. I don't believe that. I know Georgia beat Tennessee. It was only by 3. I think Miami has actually played more consistent football than LSU, Ohio State, and Penn State, but I still put Oregon over them too.
I mean, listen, when Reese Davis doesn't think that Ohio State is the number one team, and he's an AP voter.
Yeah.
But, like, right now, I think the best team in the country is Oregon, and I think the number 2 team in the country is LSU.
I do too.
I think Ohio State's a solid number 3. Penn State is 4. Georgia's right where they should be. I'd move Texas to 6. Florida State 7. And then fill
What do
out
you think
from
about-
there. I don't think Alabama is 14th.
Is that too high or too low?
I think it's too low. I think Alabama's solidly a top 10 team.
I also think Tennessee. I think Tennessee also is a top 10 team.
Look, I don't think Illinois is a top 10 team. I don't
They
know
have
if
played
A&M
well,
is.
but it's crazy that A&M jumped all the way to the top 10 because of that.
Look, Notre Dame dropped 16 spots. 16.
And do you think they can still salvage the playoff after that? I mean, they have to make a lot of ground up, and those are their biggest games of the year, and they lost both of them.
Look who's ahead of them, though. Texas Tech is going to lose. Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
At some point, the SEC is going to cannibalize itself, and it's part of that's going to work itself out. But do we really believe that Vandy is going to remain in the top 25?
If their quarterback gets his 7th year of eligibility, they may.
Georgia Tech, are they really going to remain in the top 25? Probably not. Texas Tech, Utah.
Congrats to USC for making an appearance in the AP this week.
I mean, for sure. But
they played pretty well. They played some good football, too. I know not the greatest competition, but they played some good football. They've been scoring some points.
By the time the year is over, the Illini, Iowa State, Utah, Texas Tech, Georgia, Indiana, and Vandy, that's 6 teams, are probably all going to be out of the top 25, right? If Notre Dame just wins, I realize that they're 0-2 at the moment. However, if they win and win out, they're going to gain 6 spots merely by attrition. You only need 6 more to get into the playoff.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe, doesn't Illinois play Indiana this weekend?
Illinois plays Indiana this weekend, so that's going to kind of take care of itself right there.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, just for the sake of it, the order of the top 25, I know we're very kind of spitballed half of it. You got Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, Texas, Illinois, A&M, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Ole Miss. I don't think Ole Miss is the top 13 team either, by the way. Bama, Tennessee.
I think Ole Miss is better. I think Ole Miss I think by the end of the year, Ole Miss is going to be a top 10 team.
And then we got Utah, Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Vandy, Michigan, Auburn, shout out Missouri, Notre Dame, USC.
So at the beginning of the year, I filled out my prediction,
Okay.
and I thought, and in no particular order, but I thought it was going to be Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Texas, Ole Miss, Bama, Tennessee. I think that's 11. I don't remember who I had 12.
I thought Michigan would be a little bit better than what I've seen so far. I
Oh,
know Bryce
Notre Dame was the
Underwood.
other one.
Okay. I thought Michigan would have been a little bit better this than what I've seen so far, but
I think you've got to cut them some slack. I think they will be. I think they're rebuilding and retooling. I think that they are a solid Rose Bowl team. You know what I mean? They're a solid New Year's Day bowl game team. They're probably going to be a 9-3 team.
yeah. I really did though. I thought that big test for Michigan was that Oklahoma game, and I thought they played well to win that game, but Oklahoma's defense was just they were all over Bryce Underwood that entire game.
Oklahoma is scary, and they should be.
They are. Did you see that thing about their band not being able to come to Temple on over the weekend?
They did.
What was that about? Do we know why that was?
I don't.
Did we not have enough NIL money to fly them out here?
I don't.
I saw it like when I was driving because I was just up in I was up in State College over the weekend. I went to Penn State's game. So I was looking at I'm like, wait, the band couldn't make it? I'm like, that makes a lot of interesting sense.
Now I'm curious. Now I got to find out why.
Yeah, apparently their band couldn't make it, so they had St. Joe's band fill in for them while they played Temple, which it was kind of funny. It was actually kind of funny that. Oh, wait, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Oh, no. So Temple has actually had a pretty solid season so far with their new coach, and it's been a while since Temple football has actually been pretty decent. And I looked at the line before the game started on Saturday. I said, "Oh, Oklahoma's only like it's only like a minus 23." I said, "You know what? I know that looks bad, but for Temple, that may be a
Budget
pretty
reasons.
decent line." What was it?
Budgetary reasons.
Okay, then.
The Pride of Oklahoma has played at OU games for more than a century and includes members from over 70 different majors at the school. The band wrote on social media that there are 342 members this year, and that it was actually going to be more expensive to take a fractional group to Philadelphia than all of the other SEC games combined.
Holy crap. So George said that he's having issues over where he is, and Zolt's going to have to close this out. But how the heck is that going to happen? Zolt's on parent duty. Looks like Bruiser. Looks like we're carrying the night.
Oh boy, it's a terrible idea. Then
Yeah. If you can no longer find Dueling Aces on Facebook, well, you should know why.
for real.
Or don't say that, guy.
But
Oh no!
anyway,
Don't say that guy left the chat a long time ago.
so what's the card for WrestlePalooza looking like?
Oh, I don't know. You're asking me questions I don't have the answers to.
I need the answers. I'm trying to maneuver the show here.
I don't give it. Why are you? I don't care.
Well, what do you want to do? Sit here on the cameras and not say the word for 20 minutes?
I don't want to be here at all. I can't leave Sam here by himself. He'll kill the show for sure.
My God.
I don't.
Terrible.
The only matches right now that are listed are Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the vacant women's title.
Okay.
Usos versus Division. CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Rhodes versus
Okay.
Drew McIntyre and Cena versus Lesnar.
Is Cody and Drew for the belt?
Yep.
I would assume it is.
Yeah, it's for the title.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be interested. I may tune into the Punk and AJ, Seth, and Becky match. I'll be interested to see how AJ looks in the ring after a decade away.
Listen, her abs have abs. I'm not worried about it.
People won't be watching her wrestling.
And it's just.
Have
Go
you
ahead.
seen her?
Yes.
Her abs have abs.
The six pack for the six pack.
Dude, she is yoked. I realize that she is tiny and it's not that hard, but like that girl is yoked.
Damn skin girls.
And that's the thing, right? Like, I tuned in to I haven't really consistently watched any wrestling over probably the last couple of years, probably since Cody won the belt. So about a year and a half. I really haven't been. I've turned on a Raw if I had time. I've turned on a SmackDown before I went if there was something interesting. Heck, I even got bored one night on Wednesday. I'm like, oh, Dynamite. Oh, they're in the 2300 arena that sits 50 people. Turn that off. That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing with AEW. They went from going to an arena at Temple University in Philly. Now they don't even want them there. They don't draw it because of the draws everything's down. And that's the thing. So the big reason, well, first of all, have you heard some of the Jake Hager interviews since over the past few months that he's come out and talked about AEW about? He doesn't like. He was saying how shortly after the oh my God, what was it? What was the freaking pay-per-view that when Punk beat the crap out of Jungle Boy in the back? Was that the first?
I don't know. I don't watch AEW. I never have.
I know. I'm just asking for if you did know, but they said shortly after that, all of like the veteran guys like Big Show, Jericho, they tried to rally the locker room and explain like how they can still get past this. And they said Tony Khan walked in and said, I will put you in a 6-man tag match 10 minutes before the show starts and you will like it. That was exactly his words. And I'm like, well, this is why Tony Khan has half his wrestlers want to punch him in the face. But like when you go back on that SmackDown, like when I knew it was happening, when I saw Becky Lynch interfere in the Rollins and Punk match, I knew from that moment, I said, AJ Lee's going to be back within the next 2 weeks. And as soon as Punk, I watched on Twitter, I saw the Punk backstage thing with Pierce saying, where's SmackDown? And I'm like, I'm watching SmackDown. That's the biggest thing why AEW, regardless of what I've talked about in the past, was never going to get as big as WWE. They tried to do too many things too fast. That's number one. But number two, they cannot create a moment That SmackDown could have sucked the whole night. But because AJ Lee showed up that night, the entire night was worth it. AEW cannot master that. They did it one time, and that
Right.
was All Out 2021 when Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan showed up. And they have not been able to rectify it since. They had Punk, but
AEW
that
has
was-
a Tony Khan problem, and they always will
It
until they get a solid booker in there.
yeah, and that is the problem. This is why I always said the biggest competition that WWE has had over the past 2 decades, the closest thing was TNA. Because, and what happened with TNA? They did exactly what WCW did. They went now, and every ex-WWE guy that left the company, they signed. You don't got to sign everybody. I didn't think TNA had to sign anybody from WWE.
I think that they did good signing a few. The TNA's problem.
Oh, yeah.
TNA's problem was bringing Russo in twice.
Yes. But I do agree, like early on with stuff, like when they brought Christian over, that was fine. I think Kurt Angle's running TNA was one of the best points of his career. I think he was a fine sign, but that's like when Hogan came, then Bischoff came, then Matt Hardy came, then Booker T came. It's like, okay, guys.
But look, bringing Hogan and Bischoff in was the death knell for the company. But Matt Hardy being there was fine. Dude, the broken Matt Hardy gimmick was great.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying early when they signed him right around that same time, it's just, that was one of the names I mentioned because they brought in like 15 guys, and it's like, dude, you got AJ Styles, Bobby Roode. You don't need all these guys.
They had a decent homegrown base. The problem was is that Dixie was in it. Dixie was Tony Khan, but without the wrestling fetish.
Yeah, but you know what? Early on, Dixie made 2 good decisions. She let wrestling people worry about the wrestling product.
You're absolutely wrong.
What?
Oh yeah. No, she micromanaged and meddled. She's the one that thought Vince Russo was good.
Yeah, that is true.
She's the one that brought him back and hid him from the network after the TV network specifically said, we will not carry TNA if Vince Russo is a part of it.
I mean, God, it cost them Jim Cornette, who I thought was great for their company. But that's my point. So, all right, but like, let's just look. TNA's best peak was between the Russo eras, when they fired him and then when they hired him back. From like 2004 to 2007, which, because I forget, it was either 08 or 09 when they brought him back. But during that run,
09,
she had guys like Jeff Jarrett, Jim Cornette, Dutch Mantel. They had wrestling guys running the show.
Jeff Jarrett owned the company then. Dixie didn't buy it until like 2007.
Yes, and this is my problem with Tony Khan. He never brought in those kind of guys. Like, honestly, Tony Khan needs a Jim Cornette.
He tried.
Who?
He tried Cornette.
Yeah, and Cornette said, "Get the hell." Yeah, and Cornette said, "Your product sucks."
He tried Cornette when he first started. When he first started trying to put together AEW, he reached out to Cornette. He was going to have Cornette be a booker. And Cornette was like, I'm not working with the Young Bucks. I'm not doing this. And that was kind of a big deal breaker. So Tony had Jim Cornette sign an NDA about stuff.
And then what Tony thought was a great idea was, okay, I'll just make all my wrestlers VPs. I'll give Kenny a job. I'll give the Bucks the job. And
the worst thing that Tony Khan could have done was run Cody Rhodes off.
Yeah, because guess what? And I've said this in conversations over the past few weeks. The biggest problem with AEW is he thinks he can be as big as WWE. WWE is not running 6-hour pay-per-views because everybody on the roster needs a match. No, you're either good enough for the pay-per-views or you're not. Some of those matches don't need to be there. But the problem was we can agree there. The in-ring product is important, but there is a business side to this industry. We all know it. Cody is really the only one. He's got more experience in that than anybody. He's been around the business since he was a kid. Like, when it comes to trying to build a million to, even if you want to try it, $1 billion wrestling company, what do the Young Bucks know about that? They've been indies wrestlers their whole lives. I get New Japan, I get Ring of Honor. They were never WWE. Like, what do they know about the business side of this? Cody was the only guy, because Cody could have been that guy. Like we're saying about Jim Cornette, Cody could have been that, but he wrote him out of the show.
Part of the big problem with AEW is that, and it has poisoned a lot of independent wrestling. There's this perception that you have to do everything in a match. And I haven't worked regularly since like 2022. And I'm perfectly happy not getting in a wrestling ring and bumping around and doing shit ever again.
Mm-hmm.
But I do help an acquaintance of mine out by running his ring crew for his wrestling promotion. And I have told him on numerous occasions, you need to tell some of your guys to knock it off. Because there was a match the last show where those guys beat the ever-living shit out of each other with forearms and stiff kicks and punches and elbows. And it's like, how do you can't follow that? And then there was the super indie match where they jumped off of everything and did 95 million flips. The reason why nobody buys AEW pay-per-views and everybody, they sold out an arena in WWE for the thought that AJ Lee might be there twice.
Yeah.
Punk went to Adam Pearce and said, "Where's SmackDown at? Oh, Chicago. Oh, I'll be there."
Yep.
Boom. And all week it was AJ Lee makes return. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty foregone conclusion that she was going to show up because it made the most logical sense in the booking. However, when Punk cut that promo and said, "Oh, I could have Becky or I could have Bayley or Rhea or, whomever out here," and then AJ's music hits and she comes out and she skips around the ring, makes a couple of facial expressions, and then Luthez presses Becky and beats the ever-living shit out of her in the middle of the ring. I mean, what do you expect?
And that's where I was getting at.
Yeah, but that story, the problem is AEW thinks AEW is the douchebag hipster kid who's sipping the IPA at the bar thinking it's the best beer ever. AEW is the hipster douchebag who ironically drinks Milwaukee's Best or Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Because he's more sophisticated.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry, but guess what? Budweiser, Coors, fucking Miller all outsell them. You know why? Because they've never lied to their customer about what they are. They're crap beer that gets you drunk.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like I said, that SmackDown could have had. You could have put every bottom card wrestler on that SmackDown, but it would have been the best SmackDown ever because she returned. They will create one moment like that on a show that will make your whole night. AEW has no idea how to do that, except They had one time they actually did it, and that was All Out 2021 when Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debuted. That was it. The only other time
I disagree. I think AEW's one shining moment was actually getting CM Punk out of.
I was going to bring that up.
Was getting him to come back and wrestle.
Yeah, because honestly, like if he doesn't go to AEW, do we ever see it? Do you think he ever comes back to WWE?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Because I think once McMahon showed himself out, once McMahon showed himself out, Punk would have come back.
Yeah, because I mean, you heard him cut the one promo. He said it. I love this place. I like the guy who was running it.
Yep.
He has come forth with all of that stuff in every promo. Because if I'm not mistaken, Bruiser, just from I'm going off of Survivor Series when he came back. Him and Rollins actually do have some issues with each other, don't they?
They did, as far as I know. They worked them out.
But see, that's the point, though. Even if they did have issues early on, that didn't stop them from being professionals.
Here's the difference. Again, another difference between AEW and WWE. Drew McIntyre, legitimate real life heat with CM Punk.
Yes.
It was the best feud in the company for a year and a half.
Yup.
Seth Rollins, legitimate real life heat with CM Punk. It has been the best feud for a year and a half.
Yup. And
you had three idiots who couldn't get over their own ego and out of their own way over an AEW, couldn't realize that they could have drawn a shit ton of money with a tag team match of Ace Steel and CM Punk versus the Young Bucks.
Oh my God.
Hey, Bubba.
That would have been hilarious. I would have loved seeing Ace Steel get his face kicked in like 6 times in that match. That would have been great.
Or a match of CM Punk versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah. That's another issue that AEW, that's honestly been a really crushing blow to them a lot, has been when they've had some of their bigger shows, their talent roster hasn't been 100% healthy. Kenny has been hurt countlessly over the past few years.
Well, he's got diverticulitis. He's about to have surgery again.
Well, I know that, but even before that, he was getting banged up.
You can't wrestle the style that he wrestled for forever in Japan and not walk away.
Yeah. Well, look at Ospreay. He's out indefinitely right now because of the way he wrestles.
Dude, look at all those guys from 2008 to 2015. Your Shibatas and your, all those guys that were big in New Japan, right? They all walk around like they're the walking wounded or the crippled. They all shuffle.
Oh yeah, and that was like when they tried to do those Forbidden Door pay-per-views. Everyone's like, "Oh, these are going to be epic matches." I said, "You guys are aware that New Japan's prime wrestlers are all old as shit, right? And that they are not going to be able to hold a candle to some of AEW's guys strictly just because AEW's guys are younger. There are still some that can do it a little bit, but some of these guys are not. They're not young, man."
It is quite honestly a joke now of what AEW is.
It is.
Look, even at TNA's worst, they were still pulling in a 0.9 rating, 0.8, 0.9. They were still pulling in almost 1 million people a week.
And honestly,
I think AEW last Wednesday barely got over 500,000.
I think so. And that's another thing that screwed up with AEW. They could have had that working relationship with TNA. They did it for a little bit with Christian going back to win the belt when he was challenging Omega. They could have had that relationship with TNA, but they let WWE sneak in the back door and take it from them. Because I mean, dude, do people understand since that partnership, NXT is actually now like must-watch TV because they'll have TNA guys show up, or they just sent Tiffany and Rhea down there a few weeks ago.
Well, they're doing a show at Full Sail tonight, and so it's Tiffany got hurt on SmackDown, so she's not there tonight. But it's Rhea and Stephanie Vaquer and Lyra Valkyria versus Fatal Influence in a 6-woman tag match for a main event tonight.
Oh wow! And then
you
again,
had Joe Hendry, who was your TNA champion at the time, wrestled Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
I love that so much. And everybody got mad about it because they're like, oh, this isn't the wow factor. I said, guys, they had to find Randy Orton an opponent in like 2 days.
Yes, but apparently Joe Hendry was Randy Orton's hand-picked opponent. Like Randy Orton picked him.
And the ending's great. He does the Joe Hendry thing, and out
Right
of nowhere, here comes
RKO.
Randy. Yeah, exactly. See, this is like Randy's point of his career where he's like, I'm just giving back to everybody else now. I got all my opportunities. I'm giving some back now. I still would like to see Randy get one more title run before he calls it a career, but I don't know if Randy's ever going to call it a career at this point.
Randy will retire, and then he'll end up being he'll end up being an agent backstage. Listen, he is one of the best to ever do this. His psychology is amazing. Amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like you think about that era, and it's always like Cena, Triple H. We talk about all those guys. I feel like Randy Orton, for some reason, he's not fully forgotten, but like he's never like one of the first 3 to 4 guys you mentioned. But Randy's been like a staple in that company for over 3 decades now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was carrying them through a bunch of the freaking rough times. And look, I mean, the guy's having spinal fusion surgery, and he's showing back up in the best shape of his life.
He's insanely yoked.
Oh, he is ridiculous. I'm running out of things to talk about.
I know, and there's nobody watching. I think we should just go.
We just put in the chat, say we're out of here.
Listen, we just leave. We leave the studio and let it be open. It'll eventually shut off.
I'm about to say I'm running out of ideas. I've run out of ideas here. George apparently isn't coming back.
No. So, all right. Good night, Gracie.
I guess. Later.
I don't know, folks. Couldn't tell you. All I do is show up and, occasionally there's a show. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. It's obviously better when I show up. But what are you going to do other than, cry the tears like Browns fans? Lions got back on track. Eagles are Eagles. Chiefs are still Chiefs. Daniels has the sophomore slump. CJ Stroud can't get rid of the sophomore slump, even as a junior. But maybe that's because he doesn't have an O-line. But yeah. Well, thanks for coming to my show. I appreciate it. I guess we'll have better luck on Monday. Peace out.
That takes care of the 4 minutes. Say goodnight, Grayson.
Good night.
Good night. That's it. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Good night.
So I said, well, flip a coin, and if it comes out heads, have your hair dyed.
And if it comes out tails, say goodnight, Gracie.